Joining us right now from Capitol Hill to weigh in, House Majority Leader Congressman Kevin McCarthy of California. Mr. Majority Leader, good to see you this morning. Thank you so much for joining us.
Well, thank you for having me back on your show.
So let's talk about this meeting. We just saw the two sitting there. They are now behind closed doors. What would be victory from your standpoint in terms of this summit between President Trump and President Putin?
Well, first, I think it's smart that they sit together. But remember, in Putin's mind, what he's looking at America. He's looking at a different America. Think about it from one perspective, because he always looks to whether power or weakness. Here we are. Now we have America where a military is not being cut by 20%, but actually being increased, where we put the investment back in. An America where economy is not weak, but one of our strongest we've seen in decades. An America where you have a president that actually pulls out the Iran agreement, which I believe weakens Iran inside Syria as well, and gives a disruption. That he stands up to what he said he was going to do, something that will put fear in Putin's mind at the same time. And remember, you also now have a president that just went to NATO, told them they had to increase their defense spending, something Putin fears. And remember what else he did? He publicly went after North Star 2. America's becoming energy independent. The strength of Russia, and remember, Russia's economy is weaker than California, but they rely on energy. America's becoming energy independent, surpassing them, but also publicly goes after Germany. Why would you go with Russia and Putin and make him stronger, go around Ukraine? So President Trump is going in with a greater strength, and America is stronger on the world stage as well. So I believe it's correct. Remember what has taken place in the last administration. The Soviet Union left the Middle East in the 70s. The last administration let Russia back into the Middle East inside Syria, which creates a problem for us, but we're going to have to deal with it. We also, if we want Iran not to have a stronghold within there, we're going to have to work with Russia to remove them. Russia pulled out in the last administration from the INF treaty. So we have, in our new NDAA, we have put funding in there for R&D. These are things that will put a greater strength to Russia, a greater strength to President Trump in dealing with Russia.
So is there any appetite in Congress to actually institute further sanctions against Russia, given the fact that now we do know that the DOJ just indicted 12 more Russians for election meddling?
Well, think about what this Congress and what this administration has done. They have imposed more sanctions than any administration before on Russia. There are 460 sanctions on Russian entity and individuals, never before. But it's not just sanctions that work. Putin will wake up when he sees that America has put a reinvestment into their military. Those are the things. And if you study history, the thing that the Soviet Union at the time feared most when Ronald Reagan came in, that is, he kept his word and he fired the air traffic controllers. Think about what he's thanking Putin when he watched Trump come in and said he would pull out of, the Iran agreement, but more importantly, put that embassy in Jerusalem when every other president said they would, and they backed away. This is an individual that has a country that is going to be fearful of America, of where President Trump is. So Trump walks into that negotiation much stronger than we've had an administration in the past. So I think from a standpoint, we're in a stronger ground. He knows he'll put sanctions on. He knows he'll invest in the military, and he knows he'll keep his word. And think from a long-term perspective around the world. If we have a relationship with Russia, that puts a little more in check with China of where we want to go in the future. Russia is not going to be the stronghold economically as they were in the past by long far. China is on the rise up. We're going to have a different relationship with Russia if we want to be stronger against China.
Yeah, I'm going to get to China in a moment, because people have been talking this morning and worried about the fact that Putin has been able to get a real stronghold in Europe because of the gas and the deals there. And now he wants to control the Middle East. He's already done deals in Turkey, in Egypt, elsewhere. So does the president and does the Congress need to get involved further in terms of breaking up these relationships that he's securing with these Middle Eastern players?
You just raised all those great issues of what Russia has done during the last administration, because what Putin will do is he will take advantage when he sees weakness. This is a change in a new Congress and a new administration, more sanctions, more investment in the military. We now have a stronger bond in the Middle East with our allies, a fear that we had in the last administration we did not. Our enemies are now beginning to fear us at the same time. So it is a different stage that is being set, and something is turning the corner. That is why Putin is wanting to sit down with President Trump right now, because of the actions of this new administration and the actions of Congress. And if we need to go further, we will.